selesai ternyata. Wow, wah ini loh. Lah, misi itu kayak gini loh, Cok. Seru nih, Bro. Musuhnya gede banget, ada lele, ada belut, ada sidat, ada sapu-sapu tadi. Wah, mantap banget lah. Genshin Impact, mantap. Gak rugi aku ngonten nih ya. Begini.
Is it finally over?
The ominous aura of that monster has indeed begun to fade. The effects of the sigil of permission last but a short time. It will be some time before the overlord of the vortex can make any waves again.
We are indebted to you for your assistance.
Ini masih hidup.
If the Adepti hadn't happened to be here, the future of Liyue Harbor would surely have been in great jeopardy.
Save your flattery. We didn't just happen to be here.
Yang dikorbanin
Surely you won't pretend to have forgotten the reason for which we came.
Come now. There's no need for such harsh words, Cloud Retainer.
Wah, ini kan nenek-neneknya yang punya
Ningguang began learning to do business, she had already started setting aside part of her then limited income in preparation for building the Jade Chamber. At first, it was only the size of a small room, but with continued expansion, it has become the palace that lies before you now. It is a testament to Ningguang's entire life, both as a businesswoman and as the backbone of the Liyue Qixing. Seeing the Jade Chamber destroyed in the defense of Liyue means much to her. To me, such cooperation and sacrifice deserves at least some recognition, don't you agree?
Well, I was really hoping you would say that such sacrifice could at least be used as some leverage in our negotiations. Thank you all for hearing me out. We know very well why the Adepti came. 3,700 years. According to our records, even to this very day, but that does not mean, do not merely cast your—
Are you questioning our means of protecting Liyue?
I mean no offense.
Malah debat loh.
Forebears, you say?
This morning, Rex Lapis appeared to me in a dream.
What?
Lapis masih hidup
In
ini,
the
Cok.
dream, I also thought to tell him
Kata-katanya ada
how
di
the past generations of Qixing had
Skip aja lah.
strove under him, but I dared.
Oh, Ningguang.
Yet another perspective. What are you trying to say, Outlander?
antara penjaga dan yang dijaga. Akan sulit untuk mengembalikan keharmonisannya.
Right! That's something that happened in Mondstadt. It's a story about the four winds and the people of the Animal Archon. The Animal Archon sought to quell the strife between the two sides because he believed that such conflict would only...
Each of the 7 nations has its own scars from the past.
Setiap negara
your
dari
point is the very height
ada
of
7
simplicity.
negara gitu.
As Adepti, we've become a laughing
Biarkan
stock
ini
to be chastised thus by an
angin.
outlander who has lent us such succor.
All right, all right. Didn't Ningguang suggest that we should focus?
I apologize for appearing in full armor. I am afraid I cannot show the proper courtesies.
And who are you?
I am Feng Yan, a sergeant of the Millilith. I have come to extend my thanks. I thought this battle would perhaps, although I am a mere...
Huh? Why does everyone look so down? Didn't we just be...
Weren't you frightened?
I wasn't afraid. When danger is near, thanks for protecting me.
Ucapan terima kasih pada
Unfortunately,
Abetus.
we would...
Huh?
Because we are Adepti.
Oh, okay.
You see, the country of contracts, is grateful to the Adepti for their protection. But it is no longer necessary for the city to rely on the Adepti's power to solve every little niggling matter. Although their blood is weak, there is still strength to be found in those we call mortals. The time of contracts between gods and Liyue has long since passed. Now is the time of contracts between Liyue and its...
Seeing the port around us now, it is hard not to feel a bit out of place.
Your line of inquiry is askew. One did not...
Seems like the Adepti have had a change.
Next lah.
Let us return now.
Eager to leave.
Yes, one understands. One fears that by the time one finally grasps the nuke, fair enough.
Nah, kembali sana, asalmu sana. Di gunung lah, di rawa-rawa lah.
But how will we ensure?
All right, Mooncarver, you needn't worry. It seems to me that...
Looks like the conflict between... right! It's nice that we've got Child wanted to unleash the
melepaskan monster itu ke Liwe karena ingin memaksa Lapis untuk muncul.
But we were able to handle the overlord of the vortex on our
kita
own.
sendiri, jadi
So
Lapis tidak pernah muncul.
Oh, and speaking of that,
Kematian dewa itu ya. Apalagi nih? Selesai dong.
Hyman doesn't get it.
But isn't the strongest lead we have
the adeptiless right of
udah selesai
party that we're organizing?
Ya sudah. Kita lanjut.
No idea where Zhongli's gone.
Misi lagi.
Let's ask for him at Wangshan Funeral Parlor.
Dari Zhongli nih, suruh lawan Zhongli nih. Lide kan udah kalah nih.
Is there anything I can do for you two? I'm afraid that Wangshan Funeral Parlor isn't in the best state to receive guests.
We've come to see Zhongli. Could you please tell him we're here?
Unfortunately, Zhongli isn't here at the moment. It seems he went to Northland Bank.
Doesn't the Northland Bank belong to the Fatui? Last time we saw Zhongli was before we went to the Golden House. Do you think he doesn't know about the attack on Liyue? Visiting the Fatui at a time like this could only mean more trouble.
Fatu ini orang-orang harus dibantai nih kalau jahat nih.
Make sure that everything is okay.
Harus Zhongli di Northern Bank. Tas kan?
Thank you. New stock at Sigo Antiques?
Hop, lari nanti jatuh. Ini. Kok mencet G sih? Mencet F, Cok. Perjalanannya sangat panjang nih, misinya panjang nih. Besok Yusuf mesti tanya nih misi
You call this
misinya apa.
cooperation between harbingers. Cooperation involves communication, you know.
Don't take it to heart.
Oh, ini Signora nih yang nyerang Venti itu, Cok.
Aren't you happy that
di
you got
awal-awal
to
nih
skip
ada
the
nih.
formalities and bring
Ini orang jahat nih
chaos to
berarti
the
nih.
land?
Berdua nih.
I'm sure
Jangan
you must
Lide
have
nih.
enjoyed
Lide
that.
jangan si Zhongli ini juga jahat nih.
It seems that some of your friends have arrived.
Hey, it's Zhongli and Child.
Nah, Signora bener kan? Yang di awal ini, Cok, yang lawan Venti itu.
It's you
lawan
two.
naga.
I believe we've met once before.
Devalin.
In the city of Bards, was it? I'm glad you still remember my name. Ah, right. I imagine that it must have been rather hard to forget watching helplessly as something precious was snatched away.
Well, if it isn't you two. This is our first time seeing each other since Liyue was nearly wiped off the map. This is certainly a bit awkward, wouldn't you say?
Ternyata selama ini kita ditipu loh
I
itu.
knew that we should never have trusted a Fatui harbinger.
Oh, now don't say that. Sure, I may have misled you, but I never had anything against you personally. Besides, I thought we were getting along quite well together, didn't you? Except for that little tussle we had at the end. Nothing personal. We just have different views, that's all. Of course, you may very well hold this against me, but that's up to you. The real deceivers here are Senora and Zhongli. Curse them for leading me on. So actually, I think...
Stop wasting time, child. There'll be plenty of time to chat once I'm through here.
Ini hero bukan sih sebenarnya?
You remember the agreement,
Norai.
Morax. Now, if you would be so kind.
Perkataan.
The
What in the world are you talking about?
The contract is fulfilled. That which thou seeketh is now bestowed unto thee.
Masa muter-muter,
For
Cok,
my
ceritanya.
promise is solid as stone.
Apa itu?
sanctimonious.
Kenapa nyotengnya kayak gitu, Cok? Jadi Lapis adalah Zhongli.
What? So you're the Lord of Chiao?
Wow, ini malah kebongkar lagi kan?
Wait, that's an exciting twist and all, but why give the gnosis to the Fatui?
I do not give it for free.
Memberikannya
I give it as
sesuai dengan
agreed upon in the
kesepakatan. Jadi ini adalah
contract,
antara aku dan
for it is a matter solely
Astias.
between the Tsaritsa and I.
Yeah, you don't think you went a little bit too far with that whole fake death thing? Everyone was preparing the ceremony for you and splat! This big dragon falls out of the sky and all of Lyric goes into an uproar. Talk about a disaster.
Gathering all the forces that had been bubbling behind the scenes, and then stirring them together in a pot that was bound to boil over. That's what he wanted to see, am I right?
Wait, what?
Perhaps it's best that I explain. As you know, I've dwelt upon this world for more than 6,000 years. It is now 3,700 years ago that I founded Liyue together with the Adepti. Even boulders that can withstand whirlpools will erode with the passing of time. I kept convincing myself that cracks had not begun to form, and that the end of my time had not yet come, until one drizzly day, as I was strolling along the harbor, I heard a merchant tell one of his workers, "You finished your duties. Go ahead and call it a day." I stood motionless among the crowds, asking myself, have I already finished my duties?
Oh, Zhongli.
But as I began to consider relinquishing my divine role, I soon discovered that many reasons still remained to not hastily depart. Was Liyue, the city I had dwelt in for so long, already prepared to enter its next age? I decided that a test was needed in order to reveal the answer. So I feigned my own death, and gathered the cast of Child, the Adepti, and the Liyue Qixing. Indeed I was. The gnosis which I had kept for so many years suddenly seemed to have lost its meaning. That's right. Which is why I continued to safeguard the gnosis until now.
So you mean that if the chaos ever reached the point of no return, you would simply appear and use your divine powers to bring Liyue back under control?
Of course, and it would have been all too easy for him too. Just as a child quickly matures after losing their parents, so has Liyue matured when faced with the death of its deity.
In the end, the resolution to all that has transpired was even more satisfactory than I could have hoped for. Take the Adepti, for instance. Owing to their years of seclusion, they were the least informed. Yet when faced with a crisis, they commendably showed the greatest amount of restraint possible. Not only did they manage to cooperate with the Qixing, but in the end, they even made efforts to understand the hearts of the people. Credit is also due to Signora, the emissary dispatched by the Cryo-Archon to fulfill our contract. At my request, she kept everything she knew in strict confidence. This despite the eavesdropping ears of her colleague, Child. This meant I could remain as Zhongli, even having the chance to fulfill the age-old traditions of Liyue in this mortal form. Thank you for joining me on this journey, traveler. All of these things turned out as I had planned. There is only one thing that I had not anticipated, and that was the conduct of the Liyue Qixing. I had expected them to do no more than the Adepti, to come to the defense of Liyue. But when all was said and done, they seized the opportunity to supplant Liyue's divine protectors and used the subsequent power vacuum left by my death to quickly gain complete control of Liyue.
That doesn't sound good at all.
On the contrary, I think it is excellent. I had always feared that it was too soon for them to take over from me. And it was also that which I longed for the most. Such, this is the best parting gift anyone could have given this god of old.
Hey, what about me? Doesn't anyone feel the least bit of remorse for deceiving me? You've practically kept me in the dark.
I think that thanks would be more appropriate. You certainly played no small part in all of this, wreaking havoc and turning the city upside down. The Lord of Geo ought to thank you for your performance, if anything. If you hadn't created the pressure of a battle between mortals, a Deadeye and a god, the lump of coal resting in the hands of the Geo Archon, Liu would never have been able to become a dazzling diamond of a city.
Huh? Just whose side are you on, mocking me like that? Are you itching for a fight? Be that as it may, you've come out of this as the hero of Liu. I, on the other hand, will be forever prescribed as a disturber of the peace, no?
Well then, with the Gnosis in my possession, I have no use for such
Jemput
idle
Binary
chatter.
Place yang
We should
yang
return
mulia
to
Sinari
Zapolyarny
Ayo.
Palace and seek an audience with Her Majesty, the Tsaritsa. Come, child.
Fine. I'll meet you there later. I'm not sharing a boat with the likes of you.
Do as you wish.
Whatever. Habis ini lawan Signora nih.
Now then,
Cerita utamanya.
is there anything else you wish to ask
Aku
me?
ingin tahu apa yang akan diberikan oleh ya Arco Zero daripada Genesis.
Right! As Zhongli always told us, a good trade is a
Asem
fair
ini minta
trade.
hadiah nih malahan.
Paimon has no idea what could be a good trade for a Gnosis.
Realistically speaking, there is no such thing.
Ternyata karakter-karakter di
However, I am the god
Genshin
of
ini
contracts.
dewa-dewa, Cok.
For thousands of
Dewa
years,
kontra.
I have made
Selama 1000 tahun
countless
aku sudah membuat
contracts.
banyak kali
If the
transaksi
deal was of no
kesepakatan. Jadi
benefit,
kesepakatan
then
untungnya
I
maka aku
certainly
tidak akan
would not be
setuju.
my agreement with the Cryo Archon will be the
Menjadi
last of
kontrak
my
terakhirku
contracts as the
sebagai
Geo
Archon
Archon.
Geo, yang
My
artinya saat dimana
contract
semua
to
kontrak
end all
berakhir.
contracts. As for the
Kan
bargaining
ada
chip
pun yang
that the
ditawarkan
Tsaritsa used to balance the
Tsaritsa adalah
scales,
transaksi ini.
uncover that
Tampaknya
answer
ini
for
carilah
yourself
jawaban
in
itu
your
sendiri dalam
future
perjalananmu selanjutnya. Wah, ini misinya udah selesai nih, berarti di misi selanjutnya nih ya.